Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about quantitative aspects of electrolysis. Michael Faraday performed a large number of experiments during 1833 to 1834 on electrolysis and summarized the results of his experiments in the form of two laws known as Faraday's law of electrolysis. Faraday's first law of electrolysis states that the amount of any substance deposited or liberated at any electrode is directly proportional to quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. Thus, if W gram of the substance is deposited on the electrode on passing Q coulombs of electricity, then W will be directly proportional to Q. If you want to remove the proportion symbol, we'll substitute the proportionality constant. Here it is given as Z. So W will be equal to Z into Q, where Z is called as proportionality constant or electrochemical equivalent. If we are going to pass current of I amperes in t seconds, then Q will be equal to I into t. Substitute Q is equal to IT in the above equation. So W will be equal to Z into I into T. Now let's define electrochemical equivalent Z. We know W is equal to Z into Q. When Q is equal to 1 coulomb, W will be equal to Z. So we can define electrochemical equivalent of a substance as the mass of the substance deposited when a current of 1 ampere is passed for 1 second. That is, quantity of current will be equal to 1 coulomb. Now let us discuss about the relationship between electrochemical equivalent Z and molar mass. For that, let us consider a redox reaction. Here the metal Mn plus ion, which is in the aqueous state, is getting reduced to metal in the solid state by accepting n electrons. So you can see in the above equation n mole of electrons being accepted to convert 1 mole of Mn plus ion to metal in the solid state. So quantity of charge required, that is Q, will be equal to charge on n moles of electrons. So we know charge on n moles of electrons will be equal to 6.023 into 10 to power of 23, that is Avogadro's number. We know 1 mole of any substance will have the quantity equal to 6.023 into 10 to power of 23 units into charge of 1 electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to power of minus 19 coulomb. So we get the charge on 1 mole of electrons is equal to 96,472 coulombs, which is approximately equal to 96,500 coulombs. That value is equal to 1 Faraday. So in other words, the mass of substance deposited by 1 coulomb of charge will be equal to electrochemical equivalent, that is Z, because we have defined electrochemical equivalent as amount of substance deposited upon passing 1 coulomb of charge. And this electrochemical equivalent Z will be equal to molar mass of the metal divided by number of electrons that is being lost or gained into 1 Faraday, that is 96,500. We know molar mass of the substance divided by number of electrons involved is called equivalent mass. So Z can also be written as equivalent mass by 96,500. So, amount of substance that is getting deposited on an electron on an electrode, that is W, will be equal to molar mass of the metal into quantity of current pass, that is Q, divided by N, that is number of electrons involved, into 96,500. Now let's discuss few questions based on Faraday's first law. Here you are going to find out how much charge is required for the reduction of 1 mole of aluminum 3 plus ions to aluminium. We know quantity of charge required for the reduction of 1 mole of aluminum 3 plus ion will be equal to charge on n moles of electron. Here the n value is equal to 3. So we have 3 into 96,500 coulomb, which is equal to 2,89,500 coulomb. In the same way, you can solve this question. Next type of question that can be asked is, you can be asked to find out how much electricity in terms of Faraday is required to reduce molten calcium chloride to 20 grams of calcium. So the first step is you will write the balanced half cell reaction. Ca2 plus ions plus 2 electrons will get converted to calcium. We know 1 mole of calcium upon reduction gives 40 grams of calcium. This is according to balanced chemical equation. 1 mole of any substance will contain the molar mass of the substance. So 1 mole of calcium will contain 40 grams of calcium. And in order to reduce 1 mole of calcium, I need 2 Faradays of current. This is because N value is equal to 2. Here in the question they are asking, in order to obtain 20 grams of calcium, how much current is reduced? If 40 grams of calcium requires 2 Faradays, half of it, 20 grams of calcium, will require 1 Faraday. If you consider this type of question, you have to calculate the mass of nickel that will get deposited at the cathode. So directly you are going to find out the value of W. We know W is equal to molar mass into Q divided by N into 96,500. So when you are going to put the molar mass, that is atomic mass of nickel, given as 58.7 into 6,000, which is the quantity of current pass. Whenever you are finding out the value of Q, you should have the I value in amperes and time in seconds. Here in the question, it is given as 20 minutes. So you will convert it to seconds by multiplying with 60. So Q is equal to I into T, which is here equal to 6,000 coulomb, divided by N into F. Here 2 electrons will be involved. So N value is equal to 2 and F value is 96,500. So you can calculate the value. Similarly, in this question, first you will find out the value of W based on the given formula. Then you can find out the value of Q using the value of W. Now let us discuss about Faraday's second law. This law states that when the same amount of charge is passed through solution of different electrolytes which are connected in series, the mass of the substance deposited at respective electrodes are proportion to their equivalent mass. Let us consider 3 electrolytic cells which are connected in series to the direct electrical source. Let each cell be filled with different electrolytes, namely nickel sulfate, copper sulfate and cobalt sulfate respectively. When Q coulomb charge is passed through the electrolytic cells, the masses of nickel, copper and cobalt getting deposited at the respective electrode will be proportion to their chemical equivalent mass. So according to Faraday's second law, mass of nickel that is getting deposited will be proportion to the equivalent mass of nickel, and mass of copper that is getting deposited will be proportion to the equivalent mass of nickel, and mass of cobalt that is getting deposited will be proportion to the equivalent mass of cobalt. Or you can say mass of nickel getting deposited divided by equivalent mass of nickel will be equal to mass of copper getting deposited divided by equivalent mass of copper, which in turn be equal to mass of cobalt getting deposited divided by equivalent mass of cobalt. Students, if you consider this question, we have two electrolytic cells, one containing silver nitrate solution and in other we have dilute sulfuric acid solution. And these two electrolytic cells are connected in series. And you are passing the same current of 2.5 amperes to both the electrolytic cell. And till you get 1.078 grams of silver deposited. You have to find out how much electricity was consumed. And you also should find out what was the weight of oxygen gas liberated. First, let's answer to the first question, how much electricity was consumed. For that, let us consider the reduction of Ag plus ions to metallic silver. We know the atomic weight of silver, which is equal to 107.8 grams. So 107.8 grams of silver will be reduced using 1 Faraday of current. So for the reduction of 107.8 grams of Ag plus ions, we required 1 Faraday of charge. Therefore, if we want to reduce 1.078 grams of Ag plus ions, the charge required will be equal to 1F by 107.8 into 1.078, which is equal to 0.01 Faraday. To convert Faradays to Coulomb, you will be multiplying with 96,500. So answer will be 965 Coulomb. The next step is you will calculate the weight of oxygen gas liberated. If you consider the reaction, H2O upon electrolysis gives 4H plus ions, 1 molecule of oxygen and 4 electron. To obtain 1 mole of oxygen gas, we need 4 electrons. And if you consider the silver nitrate cell also, 4 Faraday of charge will be required to liberate 1 mole of oxygen, that is 32 grams of oxygen. Therefore, when you are going to pass 965 Coulomb of charge, oxygen that is getting liberated will be equal to 32 divided by 4 into 96,500 into 965, which will be equal to 0.08 grams. If you take the oxygen gas, it is getting liberated in both the cells. So total amount of oxygen liberated will be equal to 0.08 plus 0.08, which is equal to 0.16 grams. Students, in the same way, try to solve this question. You try to work out these questions on your own.